How's it going, everybody? I wanted to do a short video on something that's a safety concern that I wasn't aware of, and I haven't actually seen a video done on it. Um, so, I mean, if you already read the title, you kind of know where this is going. But I wanted to give you my own personal experience on what had happened and maybe some of the ways that you can mitigate problems like this, or just stay away from cheap Chinese manufactured items such as this. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, I'm going to hold the camera by hand, so I apologize ahead of the time for the shakiness and stuff. So this is what I'm talking about. I got a power bank. Basically, what it is it's a do-it-yourself power bank that you put in your 18650 cells into it. It has the LEDs. It has the little switch. It functions just like any other power bank that you would have, except for you put in your own cells. Now, this is a great idea. I have a couple of these, but you need to be careful when you get cheaply manufactured. Well, that's falling out too. When you get cheaply manufactured things like this, I had purchased two of these. Within a few hours of getting the first one, I installed my cells in it, and everything was good. I let them, because it's all in parallel, I let all the cells equalize, and then once it did that, I charged it. Everything worked. I hadn't had the opportunity to discharge it yet, but I just left it sitting in my kitchen. So, I mean, as you can see, there's not much to this. I don't know if I could take it apart. Well, anyway, so I left it sitting in my kitchen with all the cells in it, all equalized, all charged, and they were expensive cells. We're talking Samsung and LG cells that, I mean, they're not cheap. They weren't Ultra Fires or some cheap Chinese cell. So, I don't know what time it was. I hear the smoke detectors going off in my house, and I think to myself, oh, the kids are probably cooking something, because they immediately went off. It went on and then went off. So I thought, oh, there's nothing. It's probably one of the kids cooking something. Well, then it goes off again and doesn't turn off. So I come out of my room and immediately go to my garage where all my lithium batteries are stored. When I get to the garage, there's nothing there, but I can smell plastic burning. There's obviously a fire somewhere. So I come back in the house and I get to the kitchen and I find a power bank on fire. This whole region of the power bank was in flames. Now, fortunately, it hadn't gotten to the batteries. It was just this area, and I'm going to show you that now. So this is the power bank, the same power bank after the fact. And this is the control board, and as you can see, let's see, it sits like this. This is the part that was on fire. I can't even get it to sit in there again. This was the part that was on fire, and there was a flame a couple inches tall coming from it. And so immediately I grabbed water and put it out. I grabbed the whole thing and went out and put it in water in the backyard, because I wasn't sure how to neutralize the batteries if they had caught fire. At this point, I didn't know what had happened. So I put the fire out and then was able to get the power pack out of the water after a while, and then I removed the cells. Now, something happened on this part of the board. You can see where the USB port was, and then there was some other circuitry that has obviously burned off. You can see where it burned off. I don't know what caused it, but there's the LEDs and the switch where the switch would have been. As a matter of fact, we can do a side-by-side on these. So that's what one looked like before, and that's what it looks like after. I will not be using this, though. I'm not doing that again. I don't have any idea what caused the fire. What I can tell you is that this cell was very hot, because it actually compressed the spring, and as you go down the line, you can see where there were less and less, and I think that was just the current draw, from that first cell or whatever. This is where the positive connected. It's all warped because of the heat. I mean, it was just, I don't know what happened, what went wrong, and hopefully somebody watching this can tell me. You can still see the USB port. I think there's even some, I don't know, maybe it's just melted plastic. So this is the other end of it. Move that out of the way, where the cells were. I believe this is Samsung cells and these are LG cells. They're not cheap cells, but now they're completely ruined because they were doused in water for some time while I was hoping things didn't burst into flames. Now, like I said, I'm very fortunate that the fire kind of stopped at the cells. I think the cells were able to hold on to the heat a little bit better than the plastic was. You could see where they got, some soot on them or whatever from the fire. But I did nothing wrong here. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like common sense to put these things together. So I don't believe that I did anything wrong. I think that something failed on the circuitry part of the board, and that from there it just melted down. I don't know why there wasn't any protection. There's no fuses or anything to stop the batteries from doing this. I think that's a problem. So basically what I recommend is just staying clear of this type of stuff. It's not worth it. Had this been in my couch or in my car or anywhere else, the fire would have, there was enough of a flame that it was melting a plastic bag next to it that I found in a little chunk of plastic later. There was also some other stuff next to it that had melted. Fortunately, though, it was on tile, and I literally just wiped up the soot mark that it had left. You can see the bottom of it hadn't really burned. So, it's sitting like this. It was burning the top of the pack. But it just could have been way worse. It could have been a lot worse than what it was. So basically what I'm trying to say is that keep that in mind when you're buying these $2 or $5 battery packs and things, that if they don't have the circuitry protection to kill a battery off, if it's drawing too much amperage like it should have, stay clear of it. And if you're going to use it at your own risk, because had this been in a different situation, in a different place in the house, I would probably have a house that was burned down, or even worse. Somebody might have got injured, or I don't even like to think about what could have happened, but it's something that needs to be thought about when purchasing these cheap items like this. I haven't tested the cells to see how much battery had drained off of them. I thought maybe there was a short, but it had been sitting for over 12 hours untouched, and I think if there was a short with so I had 12 amp hour. Yeah, that's right, huh? 12 amp hours worth of battery. 12 amp hours worth of battery. There's the potential for energy out of 18650s, even the ones that aren't rated for high amperage. There's a lot. So I don't think in 12 hours, I think it would have burned faster. I don't think it would take 12 hours to melt this down. So I don't think it was a battery short on my end. I don't think it's something I did on my end. I think that something happened with the circuitry, and that caused it to malfunction the way that it did. But either way, keep an eye out for these things. It's scary when you think about it. Of course, everybody thinks it won't happen to me, but it happened to me. So, and it could have been worse. I'm just very fortunate that it wasn't. So basically, I'm just making this video to spread awareness that, think twice about these things. If there's no internal circuitry for a fuse to blow or something like that, stay away from it. Alright, well, thank you for watching the video. If you like what you see, subscribe, comment, give me some input on what you think might have happened with this thing, and we'll see you in the next one.